Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Australian State Cup 2026. Very excited to be back here for our second match of this tournament. Last time we saw a State Cup was in 2022, so good to see another State Cup now when we've gotten so much more talent in the Australian and New Zealand scene. And of course, we're going to be kicking things off here on this Saturday for our second match with Western Australia A, Seed 4, up against Queensland B, Seed 13. Should hopefully have some closer score margins than the match we had earlier today. I'm Mavs, and joining me in the booth here, it's going to be our debut OSU commentator. It's going to be Ben, coming in with a long-time friend of one of the Western Australian players, coming in here for his first commentary on OSU. How are you feeling, Ben? How are you thinking of this match? How do you think this one's going to go down?
Oh, thank you for the intro, Mavs, and I could hear the smile in your voice as you called me in there. But no, it's fantastic to join you back in the commentary booth again in this beautiful OSU stadium prepared by Snowpoint for this cup, and I'm looking forward to seeing this one. WAA up against Queensland B. Promises to be a cracking match. I'm really excited to see, obviously, as you said, I'm based over here in WA. I'm excited to see some of the WA players in action. It's going to be an absolute corker, but obviously you're over there in Queensland, Mavs. I think you might have different allegiances.
Yeah, we've got a little bit of the Queensland versus WA rivalry here in the booth, you know. Representing Queensland A this year, so I got to root for my B team, and of course over in Perth, over in the middle of nowhere. Got your boys over there.
That's just it, Mavs. One of us lives in one of the best places to live in the world potentially, and one of us lives in a humid hellhole. So, I heard some rumours actually that this match right here will determine who is the better caster out of a WA or Queensland caster, and it will be aligned to the team. So if WA wins, obviously WA is the better caster, and if Queensland wins well, then you come away with the spoils. So we'll see how this one goes.
Yeah, no, I mean, that seems fair, absolutely. But, getting away from that for a second here, we are into the roles, and we're going to be opting for first ban here for Queensland B, and it looks like Aussie is just letting us know Perth in the chat. Yep. Okay, Queensland B going for the first ban, and they're actually going to be taking out the hidden too. Now, contrary to what I was talking about with you earlier, Ben, I thought potentially Queensland B would go for some tapping bans just with how strong mechanically Western Australia A is, but unfortunately, it's a little volatile with what Queensland could ban or pick just because they're not really favoured on any map in this matchup, unfortunately. I'm going to call a spade a spade. This is an uphill battle for them. And so they're going to opt to ban the reading, which is fair. And Western Australia are going to answer back with a no mod 1 and free mod 1 ban, which I like, getting rid of some of the maps that have the biggest RNG factors to them. Getting rid of those maps where you can find one random miss in the middle, which can kind of decide the whole map. So they get rid of those.
Oh, absolutely. This map will be very interesting. And like you said, Queensland not exactly favoured in here. We will see potentially some interesting picks out of WA as well. They might use this as a kind of a warm-up, get all their players cycled through in this team. So it'll be interesting to see what we see and what does get banned here in this opening ban round.
Yeah, and Queensland B, they do fire back with their final ban there on the DT3. So actually, going for a bit of a best of both worlds here, some would say. Getting rid of the reading and some tapping. So two very opposite bans, but not a fan of either of those maps. I do like the DT3 ban. Probably between that one and the No Mod 2 are probably the two hardest tapping maps in the pool. The DT2 and Free Mod 3 being a little bit easier on those fingers. But must be our first pick come in from Western Australia A, and it's actually going to be the hidden 3. Getting into some flow.
That one did on.
Yeah.
That's an interesting first start for WA. I thought it might have been a bit more straight up and down mechanics out of the WA team. Fantastic team, and maybe just as we keep going, it looks like WA has that Fault, Superior and Tebi going in for this map at the moment, Mavs?
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be Fault, Superior and Bronya, who is formerly known as Tebi. I'm sure everyone watching knows Tebi. Player out of Singapore, played OWC for 4 consecutive years for Singapore. Very, very strong tournament player. And name change there to Bronya. It's currently situated in Perth, I believe, and unsure as to the reason, but yeah, it's playing here for Western Australia, which is pretty cool to see. And on the side of Queensland B, we're going to have Arto coming in, probably going to be the perma lobby player here for Queensland B, probably the most well-rounded, consistent player on their side. Going to be joined by Arriret and Dips on this hidden 3.
Absolutely, Mavs and Arto and Fault, both captains of these teams and putting themselves in first. So good to see. Yeah, Fault WA captain and Superior doesn't really need an introduction in this forum. Played OWC for Australia last year. Real up-and-coming player, mechanically so good. So I'm excited to see what he does in this opening round of 16 as we get started in this map.
Here we go. Coming straight into our sort of hidden tech pick here. A lot of flow in this map, a lot of aim control. Interested to see. Oh, having a little bit of a client issue here. Hopefully we'll get this one refreshed any moment.
That's all right.
Here we go, getting a little bit of a refresh here. Should fix it up. This is just OSU client things, Ben. You'll have to get used to this one. A tournament client always blesses us with the most enjoyable experiences. But here we go, Hidden 3. First pick of the match from Western Australia A. We'll see what they can do with it here, as Queensland B will put up their best efforts for a breakpoint.
Absolutely, Madison. All players still with the full combo early on this map. Obviously, this one. There are some players here who Hidden is really their strong suit. Fault for WA would be one then that this is his job for the WA team here, as we do see an early miss there from Arto, and then Dibs as well for Queensland B. But Fault goes down as well, Mavs.
Yeah, Fault trades it back, so 2 FCs on the board for Western Australia, and it was 1 for Queensland B, but Arriret, unfortunately, any chance I feel like they had in the map was swindled away there at the end of that first KI. That maybe could have been a chance if Arriret held onto that FC, but unfortunately wasn't to be. So 0 FCs here for Queensland going into the double full combo from Western Australia on Superior and Tebi. Tebi does find a miss there, so just Superior, the star player for Western Australia now. The question is, can he close out the FC here? He's going strong. This map is not easy to FC. The second KI has some very difficult diff spikes, and there he goes. He does fall, unfortunately, right into the ending.
I was about to say, how good is Superior looking? Opening map of their tournament here for WAA, and Superior putting the team on his back for that map. But fantastic. Just found that late miss there in the map. There's still 98% accuracy. Came away with a fantastic map, and that does go handily to WA. Not bad for the first map, and interesting to see they're Hidden knocked out early for WA. Didn't necessarily expect that to be their first pick.
Yeah, I mean, in these early rounds, we really might be seeing kind of a bit of anything from Western Australia. I think, obviously, their strongest suit going forward in this tournament is going to be those raw mechanics and those tapping and that tapping skill set. They've got ridiculous players on that skill set. Superior, uyghti, Aussie, really, really strong on those mechanics. But it looks like Queensland B is actually going to fire back with some mechanics of their own. They're going to hit ET1, Ben.
Oh, fantastic to see, Mavs. And while we're in between maps here, Mavs, can you give us a bit of a rundown of this Queensland team? Who are we looking is fine, but as you said, uyghti hasn't played a tournament in quite a while. You know, actually, Mavs, the last time uyghti played a tournament, that's when the tournaments for Osu were still in black and white. That's how long ago it was when he played. But fantastic to see this WA team now at full strength. Superior Aussie and uyghti, and yes, Prosal with that early miss, but all teams seem to be pretty close here. Look at the very similar act between all 6 players on the board. WA with a very slight edge in the act department, and obviously that miss from Prosal, but it's super close in this DT1.
Yeah, I mean, this really could go anyway. I wouldn't expect a 3-way FC out of WA, so there's still time here as we get into the second PI, and this is where you're looking to expect more misses, and there goes Prosal. It's the miss that Queensland B would have wanted if they were to get a miss. So, I mean, that is the silver lining, but WA still has to find a miss somewhere for any opening for Queensland B, and, I mean, the opening could still present itself with a little bit more than a quarter of this map left.
Absolutely, they need it soon though. If it's going to make any effect to these scores, Prosal, the super experienced player for Queensland, maybe just showing that potentially lack of tournament experience from the player. But how's this 3-way FC for WA? And look at them all on 98 act, and just shows the difference in class between these two teams at the moment. And you expect it. It's Queensland B up against WAA. How good is this? As we just see a miss from Aussie there.
Yeah, unfortunately, spoiling the 3-way FC for Perth Gamers. Aussie does ruin it for Western Australia. A little harsh there for me, maybe, but still fantastic scores across the board.
Oh, first set of circles clicked in anger by uyghti in 5 years, Mavs, and he's only gone an FC to map on tournament format, so fantastic to see. But superior as well, quality of the player. There, Arriret with a fantastic score for Queensland B as well. Held the FC all the way through. It's good to see.
Yeah,
good
I mean,
signs for Queensland B.
All things considered, good scores from Queensland B actually. Like an FC, a 750k and a 500 plus K. I mean, pretty solid scores. You know, mind you, maybe one of the easier maps in the pool, but still, pretty well done for one of the B teams in this tournament. Pretty solid scores all round. I dare say that'll beat like quite a lot of the teams that do play the DT1 this weekend. But we'll have to see as we get into the No Mod 2 then.
No Mod 2, the streams. We expect we see my man on the ground, uyghti. I had hoped to mic him up in mid-tournament for this one, but we just didn't get the technology sorted in time. But this is definitely his wheelhouse. He loves a good bit of streams in his day. And I can tell you, Mavs, I've got some inside mail. uyghti's recently upgraded to a fresh new wooden keyboard, and I can tell you what, it has given him a buff on Stu at the moment. He is playing out of his skin. Although, as I say that, is he even going to play this map? Let's have a look.
Absolutely he will. It looks like maybe sometimes with tournaments, you know, players will step out of the lobby, they'll go jump into the map for a good 30 seconds, and then they'll come back. And possibly could be what's going on here. As Queensland B starts to situate their roster as well. Arto, Prosal, 2 players I expect to be in for this map. The third, I would be kind of a little unsure on who they would send in, but I mean, for WA, of course, we're going to see Superior, uyghti, Aussie. I mean, there's potential that Tebi could also play something like this, but I mean, you're not taking uyghti out of an No Mod 2, so this makes sense.
No.
Aussie, very solid on the tapping as well. Just a very good tapping hardware player. Mechanics are extremely high level. You know, surprising to not like hear more of him in the tournament scene. I just think he doesn't play too many tournaments, if I'm not mistaken, but absolutely has the potential. It's just the mechanics in our country are just, they're so damn high.
Oh, it's a country with deep pockets. Oh, yeah, sorry, I thought I was on mute there. It's a country with deep pockets, full of talent at the moment, and absolutely, we have a wealth of talent, and there's some players definitely could represent on the world's highest stage and miss out just because of the real depth of talent we have. But how good is this actually going up in this map? We've seen Superior play all 3 so far. Looks like uyghti and Aussie are going to join in WAA, but on the Queensland B side, we've seen Arto play every map as well, the captain for Queensland B. You did say he'd probably be the stalwart for this team, but good to see Arto has represented Australia at 5WC, so he has it represented on a higher stage, at least for himself. And good to see him put himself under pressure here to continue pumping out solid numbers on different maps. No break for him.
Yep, absolutely, and that's the kind of the mental fortitude and the consistency you need to be like a perma lobby player. It is does take its toll on you after a certain amount of maps. We've seen it from MREC in OWC. But here we go, getting into this no mod 2. Pretty brutal, honestly. The aim requirement on some of the streams it's not too awful, but it's challenging, and quite a lot of stamina required for this one at 200 BPM. We see so far for WA, no issues, 2 SSs on the board from Superior and uyghti, and Aussie with that strong 99. It looks like Dips is having a dip in accuracy, I would say, early on here, and a double FC from Arto and Prosal.
Absolutely there, Mavs, as we see. We just see a miss from Prosal there, but a miss from uyghti. I honestly didn't expect that. I watched him practice this map yesterday, and just looked so fluid. But we do see a crucial miss there for uyghti. Still a healthy lead to WA, but obviously anything can happen as Dips goes down again.
Yeah, so it looks like a pretty strong early lead here for Western Australia. Unfortunately, yeah, it seems like maybe a bit of a third player syndrome here for Queensland B. They don't seem to have a third player that's confident on this map. Dips finding too many struggles down on that 89%. And WA just looks so clean. Superior misses on nothing. What?
That's really unfortunate there from Superior. But I tell you what, Mavs,
wait a sec. Wait. Queensland can win this. Hold on. Aussie missed. I completely missed that. Sorry to cut you off there, Ben. Aussie missed earlier, which I didn't catch at all. Arto has the FC, but no, he goes down. There was time. There was absolutely time. But he falls.
Look, testament to these players, though, Mavs. Like we said, WIA probably the more quality side. Now, they have, as uyghti gets note locked out of the rest of the stream there, but WIA definitely have the more talented players. But look at the ACK. Even though they have made some misses there, they've stayed on top of the mental there as Dips really lost it through the back end of that map there. 89% ACK for that one. And just testament to the quality of the players that, yes, we did see some bad misses there. 6 misses there from uyghti, 4 from Superior. But still with the 99 ACK from all 3 of the WA players.
Yeah, I mean, valiant effort from Arto. Unfortunately, it was looking doable, but even if he was to FC that, he still would have been about 100k short of taking the victory. But it was exciting in the end, and that's what counts as we get the free mod 2 pick straight back here from Queensland B, it seems. I believe it was free mod. Was it free mod 2 picks? No, I see nothing in the chat. So there it is. Okay,
yeah,
it's just delayed.
Imagine if we'd seen an upset there, Mavs. We saw a little bit earlier on today with New South Wales A. In fairness, completely wiped the floor with Queensland C. Can you imagine the change in mood in the WA camp if they just dropped the map here up against the team who they probably are expecting to wipe here? So, this will be interesting. This free mod 2.
Yeah, we're going to get our free mod 2 coming out. This is our anti-mod free mod pick of the week. If you're unfamiliar with anti-mod maps, very difficult on both the hidden and the hard rock. You're going to be seeing that low approach rate on the players that play hidden and no mod, and the small circles on the players that opt for the hard rock. It's very difficult on both mods, to say the least. I think perhaps a little bit harder on the hidden, but going to be pretty hard either way. I think this is a map where I don't expect to see many FCs really at all over the course of the weekend. We did see New South Wales A play this map, one of the strongest teams in the tourney, and didn't get anywhere near an FC, so...
Yeah, absolutely. This, look, Mavs, I just missed selection for this tournament myself, actually, and I was practicing this free mod 2, and I can tell you with both either hard rock or hidden, this one is disgusting, this anti-mod map, and I'm excited to see actually how the teams decide they're going to go. As you see, the referee for this match, Facey, there in the chat, just letting the teams know exactly what they need to be doing. Most players here pretty experienced, but good to see Facey there, just calling the shots, keeping everything safe and fair for the players. I'm excited to see the permutations we see here, who takes what mods on this one. As we've got Tebi, Superior and Aussie in for WA. Board, Arto and Arriret. Arto back in again. And so it'd be interesting to see how this one plays out for both teams.
Also, I believe, please correct me if I'm wrong, Snowpoint in the chat, but I do believe this is a custom for the Wii. Not many customs to see this State Cup, but I believe this was one of them. So correct me if I'm wrong, but thank you to Zyliak for mapping this one for the State Cup. Yes, it is a custom, cool. Awesome to see. But yeah, interested to see the mods Western Australia are going to opt for here. We were having a little chat about this earlier, Ben. I feel like this is the type of map where I'd expect Western Australia to possibly overmod with the hard rock, but that's if uyghti was kind of in the lobby. That's kind of I had the lineup in my head, and we're actually seeing Tebi Aussie here instead. So maybe we won't. Will we see Superior opt for the hard rock alongside Aussie, or is Superior going to be on that no mod? It looks like he's going to be opting for the Arriret on the no mod there. So that's interesting to see. And Queensland B are actually going to be the ones to get a huge overmod going. They've got an easy 2 hard rocks and a hidden.
And this map was not an easy map on hard rock. And yeah, along with the hidden, I do not envy Arriret there with that overmod and board as well. Just going down there early on. But yeah, you mentioned not having uyghti in this map for WA, and look, I'm obviously over here in WA myself, and I think I could smell the smoke coming from Sam's uyghti's their fingers from tapping that last map. So I think maybe he just needs to rest there, the old man from WA, as they get going here in this no mod 2 map.
Yeah, Waterboy's coming in for him, but it's not looking too great for Queensland B out the gate here. The Arto on the easy is struggling quite considerably on this one. Board found an early miss. Arriret putting up a pretty solid score here, still holding the FC, I believe, alongside Aussie and Tebi. Superior's only missed at the very start of this map. Bit of the anti-aim coming in, and we do see it catch out Arriret and Aussie. So it's a trade, 1 apiece. Board with the only combo on Queensland up against the double FC from WA. So it's already it's dire straits for Queensland.
Yeah, Mavs, I was going to say potentially have Queensland written a check that their fingers can't cash here. However, that's probably a reference quite lost on most OSU players. So it's a bit of an older one, that one. So, but yeah, absolutely. Superior and Tebi both with the FC. Board with a good combo here as well. As good as an FC there. But yeah, Arto and Arriret, they are struggling their way through this map, but quite well. Like they are still going quite well, but just some unfortunate misses. But I do not envy Arriret at the moment. Tough map to be on as Aussie just goes down, and so does Tebi. Can we see a swing late in this map? I think it may be a bit too late here. Superior misses right towards the end here.
That's one of the hardest patterns of the map right there. Let's find a miss on it. All fair game. No one's really got a combo. And yeah, I mean, I was talking about this. It's kind of what I expect on this map. I really don't expect too many FCs coming out on this one. Arto actually putting up a pretty decent job there on the easy. The score, I believe, that he set is not actually multiplied yet. Of course, we've got a custom easy multiplier this tournament. It's 1.7.
Will it make a difference here, Mavs?
No, that's absolutely not going to make a 640,000 score difference, but it is higher than 180k, which is something worth noting. But yeah, I mean, like, not bad scores here from Queensland B. 550k, 550k, and then I'm not sure what Arto's score is with the multiplier, but definitely pretty good accuracies, good combos. Just excellent. WA that little bit stronger, and they instantly go for a little bit more tapping here, Ben. DT2.
Oh, so we might see our friend uyghti come back in. Superior obviously has been holding up this WA team. Hasn't left the board yet, and we've seen a cycle around. Aussie's obviously played a few maps, so let's see. Will Arto get a rest here? Will Prosal come in? That's probably his potentially one of his stronger maps here for Queensland B. So will we see Prosal come in and potentially in favour of Arto? We'll see. Arto must need a break at some point. He has really held up that Queensland B side.
I mean, look, I do expect Prosal to come in, but unfortunately, I don't think it's going to be in substitute for Arto. I don't think he's going to have a chance to leave this lobby.
I'm just begging for my man to get a break there. He's done such a good job to hold up this side so far.
Yeah, but I will say, although this was a WA pick, there's hope for Queensland to put a point on the board here. This is probably one of the easier maps in the pool. The tapping requirement on this one is not very high. Bit of finger control required, but it's really nothing. It's really nothing out of reach for any of the players, I think, in this lobby. So there's absolutely potential here for Queensland to pull a break point in on one of the easier maps of the pool.
It's not that typical kind of stamina map you'd see in this slot for a DT2.
Yeah, I'd absolutely agree. It's just It's not as stamina intensive as what you would usually see in a DB2 slot. A little bit more finger controlling, and it's got a couple longer streams at the end that might push your stamina. But I mean, if you're used to playing any of these sorts of maps, it's going to be a breeze for you.
As we see, looks like Fault, uyghti, and Aussie come in. Arto has a permanent chair at the moment in the Queensland B side. So Superior out for this one. Potentially just take an early shower, Mavs, maybe just maybe his work's done the first 4 maps. All right, time to go home. I'll be interested to see who comes in for Queensland B. Dips comes in. Tell you what, there's no one in this WAA team that's inferior, but at the very top, they're superior. And someone told that to me on the bus through the week when we were talking about this match that was upcoming. And so gets a rest this time around. Prosal does come in. I did pick it like a dirty nose there, Mavs. Such is the depth of my OSU knowledge. But it'll be interesting to see how this DT2 goes for both teams.
Yeah, cool to see Prosal, and definitely a map he should do quite well on paper. Should be a decent lineup here for Queensland B. They really haven't been playing too bad today. Quite solid team scores on most of the maps today. So see if they can put one up on the board. It would be an achievement to go up against this WA roster. It even put up a point, to be honest. This WA roster is very strong.
Oh, it's just disgusting, Mavs. There's just and the fact that we're not even talking about them as being one of the absolute favourites for this tournament, because that is just the depth of obviously OSU in this country. They're not even close, but you could definitely put them somewhere else in the world. And they would be fantastic, right? So as we get going in this map, and WA Perth with the tapping abuse is being called in chat. And it does seem like that kind of team really as they go off, and currently no drops. Although, sorry, I say that Fault did miss early, but it is only an early miss, so it won't be too much of an issue here for the WA team.
Yeah, and if you're over in Perth, be sure to crack a window. If you listen really closely, you might be able to hear uyghti's wrist creaking from the next suburb over as we get into this DP2.
Yeah, if you're in Perth southern suburbs, you might hear him, but he was SSing actually. I was getting really excited. I almost stood up there, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, it's looking good here for WA. Aussie with an early miss as well. uyghti with the lone FC. Fault backing him with the recovery combo. Prosal, as I said, player to look out for here on Queensland B. He's holding the FC with very good accuracy as well. Arto coming in as well. Right in second place there for Queensland. Solid recovery combo. It's looking close here, approaching the halfway section here, Ben. 140k in it. WA just with those stronger combos.
I mean, we know Prosal, he's been around a long time. You could probably say Prosal's a bit of a one-dimensional kind of OSU player, but that one dimension he's got, he is fantastic at it, as he's really showing off in this DT2 map. Really, he could probably be in the Queensland A side for a map of this kind.
Absolutely.
Fantastic tapping player as we keep going through this map. Still FCing from Prosal. uyghti on WA side also FCing at the moment. Arto with a fantastic combo to match Fault. Oh! As we see Prosal just go down. uyghti, the only man left standing with a full combo. No pressure at all, uyghti. He's not listening to me anyway, but really close here between the two teams. We're about 2/3 of the way through this map.
Oh, and uyghti does find the break. And unfortunately for Queensland B here, it looks like it's maybe just gotten away from them. Shoes are a bit too big to fill. They were making it close, but WA have just pulled that score lead straight over in their favour. And as it was the double FC from Prosal and uyghti, I was about to mention, it's kind of like the battle of the unks, but they both do find misses. As you can see here, this is sort of the longer stream section I was referring to. This part's absolutely pretty hard to combo through if you're, not a tapping player. But, most players this lobby seem to be handling that quite well, and it looks like what was once a close map has fallen short here for Queensland B. I mean, it's 800k. This is now an absolute wash.
So the wheels have metaphorically fallen off the Queensland B side just in this map here. But we've still got one more map after this as well. Potentially more.
Fault.
As Fault just loses there. Aussie with a massive combo at the moment. That's not quite an FC, is it? No, he did look a bit early on.
Yeah, both Fault and Aussie missed, I think, near the start of the map. So they both almost pulled in FCs. 980, 930k respectively. Fault actually surprising me. I mean, I didn't know he was this good at tapping, I'll be honest.
No, that's fantastic. Didn't come up in my research, I'll be honest, Mavs. But I can tell you right now, my tapping skill not nearly as good. But Prosal S-ing the map there, no miss. Full combo all the way through. Fantastic to see. Just lacking in the act in comparison. Look at uyghti, 99 act still there, as well as Aussie. The WA side just that little bit more polished out of the two teams. But Arto just asking to drop some act there as we go into the Hard Rock 1 pick from Queensland B.
I think what Arto should be asking for is a break.
I think he should be. He deserves a shower. That man's been working hard as we didn't even get into it, but absolutely potentially sweaty conditions up there in Queensland at the moment, Mavs. The weather here in WA pretty cold for the fingies. I saw Sam uyghti there just warming up his fingers earlier on, as I'm sure most of the WA team were. But a bit warmer up there in Queensland at the moment. Potentially a bit more humid, and so Arto probably sitting in a puddle of sweat at the moment as he tries to just carry this Queensland B team through into the 6th map here. This is match point here for WAA as we go into this Hard Rock 1.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. It is very humid here in Queensland. It's not great weather for playing OSU. It's just too hot, man. So it's not ideal conditions. But neither is having cold fingers.
Pen and mouse hands, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not great when you play a mouse and it's just your mouse is just wet halfway through the map. That's not ideal. But here we are, Hard Rock 1 pick from Queensland B. I think good pick here, going for one of the maps in the pool that is going to be a little more RNG, coin flippy, some would say. A map like this, very, very generic, standard farm aim, you could probably categorize this as. 4 minutes long, just aim consistency across the board. So we'll see if Queensland B can pull something out. We're actually going to be seeing zzzbored come in for his debut of the ASC26. Very, very solid Hard Rock player. Honestly, a player with Hard Rock skill that could have potentially been on the A team. Oh wait, no, I think, did he play another map? Maybe he did play another map. My mistake. I think he played one other map this match. Yeah, he did play Fremont too, okay. My bad. Not the debut. The second map. In for Hard Rock again.
Board does come in. Yeah, loves his Hard Rock as well. And I am, in my research, Mavs, I did find, I think Board is potentially the oldest OSU player to have ever OSU'd. And potentially, I am hearing some rumours, actually, as we look to the chat, potentially the oldest person to ever live. So as he comes into this map, the chat's really getting behind Board. He's absolutely a fan favourite. But uyghti up against him, so they've wheeled 2 players out of the nursing home here for this map, for the Hard Rock 1, because it's the old hands that are good at the aiming, apparently. So we'll see how they go as they get started. Arto, Arriret, and Board in for Queensland B. Superior, uyghti, and Aussie, the dangerous trio here for WAA.
Yeah, I mean, it's surprising, isn't it? You would expect the older players to have the shaky hands, but no, they're in for the aim consistency on the Hard Rock nonetheless. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, maybe look, it's potentially got something to do. They've got their carers there with them. Maybe that makes a difference. I'm not sure. But as we get going, all players at the moment on that FC, which is good to see, because this map was not an easy one in my play through of the map pool. Get running. And yeah, all players off to a really good start as we look to the accuracy. Board just struggling a little bit there in the act, but he needs to hold it together. How is the tournament experience in Board? He must know his act's a little bit low at the moment. Can he hold it together for this Queensland B team?
Yeah, should be something we see slowly rise over the course of the map. There's not really much in here that's going to make him struggle on accuracy, but it seems like the tapping gets the best of Board. I know he absolutely hates tapping. But I thought maybe he'd be able to handle these streams on this map. It doesn't seem to be the case so far. Does so well on that aim and then just falls off, losing the accuracy and the combo in one big swing. And WA has the 3-way FC intact. Just the 2 here for Queensland B. Arto doing everything he can this match.
Absolutely. Arto deserves a lot. I mean, he better get a little present, I think, from this Queensland B team. That he's really stood up, taking the captain's role quite literally. Mavs hasn't led from the sidelines at all. He's been in the trenches with the boys as they get going. Full combos across the border, but uyghti drops it there.
And so did Superior there, Ben. The double miss from WA on the Ki at the same spot. And now there's a chance for Queensland B as they have the double FC intact against the single FC from Aussie. The only downside for Queensland is they've kind of got that low score from board. Oh no, Arriret misses on the 1/3. It was 4 notes. It was just 4 notes of 1/3. That's all you had to get through. Heartbreak for Queensland. And Arto misses immediately after, but no.
Oh no, they're in shambles. I was going to say, you know, a win in this map would probably be as good as a match win, or potentially even a tournament win here for Queensland B. But they just crumbled. But that, you know, tournament format OSU is not easy. It's not like sitting there farming away PP. These tournament format is a lot of pressure for some players, and some players are really good at it, and some really good players are not as good at it. So you just see the quality here from some players who are really experienced in tournament formats. So as the one player probably with the most experience in tournament format has dropped his FC a couple of times there, or has had a few misses. But fantastic to see Aussie still with his FC, 90 man left standing.
Yeah, he's doing well, and there's the break. Players are going to see the scores. Aussie knows if he can just hold for a little bit longer, he's going to go ahead and seal this one up for WA with a 6-0 sweep. And fortunately for him, there's a bit of free combo here. When you have these massive combos and no one else in the lobby is even close to matching you, every bit of free combo is just so much extra score. And you can see it's going further and further over in the way of WA here as we move into the final PI. And the real question is if Aussie can close out this FC, because I think the match is pretty much over.
Fantastic to see Aussie finish it off. I mean, in the break there, it did almost look like, I mean, without that FC from Aussie, it was very close score-wise, but you do see Aussie just start to run WA away from there. And uyghti and Superior, despite their misses, obviously, they're pretty dependable, and they're not missing anything in the final pit of this map. Board just on a mare, and Arto dropping as well. But tough map this one, so I don't envy the players for this one.
Dare I say, Superior is definitely going to be kicking himself for those couple of misses. And another one. The type of map Superior probably FC in his sleep, but just not translating to the tournament lobby right here, right now. That's okay, because Aussie's right there as he hits that stream. I'm going to be real, that is a hard stream to hit on an FC run. Actually gets through it and pulls home the FC Aussie with a phenomenal score for WA. And Queensland B, yet again, put up a good fight. Their scores were not bad whatsoever. They did not play bad in this match, and they still get 6-0'd. I think this goes to show the level of skill from Western Australia A here, but props to Queensland B for some of those team scores they put up. They were very solid. They had maps where like every player was over 500k, so commiserations to them as they will be moving on down to the lower bracket, and WA will be moving on.
Absolutely fantastic match we watched there, and it was so good to see the mix of experience and just raw talent really in the WAA team, and fantastic to see. It's good to see, just such a good mix. Superior obviously represented already at OWC, Tebi as well, Tebi as well, but then uyghti, 6-time representative for Australia, hasn't played a tournament in 5 years, comes out, and I think that was a pretty respectable showing from him.
Yep, he played quite well for a returning Unk. So props, but that is going to be WA moving on in the upper bracket, as I mentioned. They're going to be going up against the winner of South Australia and New South Wales C. So on paper, you would expect, of course, South Australia probably to be winning that match. So that will probably be a cracker of a match next weekend. Probably one of my most anticipated matches in the quarterfinals.
Absolutely. That will be close.
Yeah, we're going to have to wait and see how those matches do pan out. And Queensland B are going to be moving on down into the lower bracket. Going up against the loser of South Australia and New South Wales C, so would probably expect that opponent to be New South Wales C, but you know, I don't like calling things early in the commentary booth, but you know, on paper that's a very very tough match for the New South Wales C team.
And we'll be pushing it uphill, I think, Mavs, to try and knock over South Australia. New South Wales obviously very deep with talent. I don't think they're quite that deep. I'll just let you in on a little secret. But
one thing I will mention to cut you off there, Ben. Sorry,
yes,
but New South Wales C, funnily enough, actually does have Dummy. Dummy is on New South Wales C, which is hilarious. Now he's not actually a New South Wales C player, but I mean he's there, so that is one thing to watch out for. I could see a potential world where New South Wales somehow steal a point of South Australia because they get like a win from dummy like Epstein and tapping that. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that one pans out.
Probably a match well worth watching, I guess, as we finish off this match here. But we've still got a match on later tonight, so do not change your Twitch TV stations too far. We do have Queensland A up against Western Australia B, and Mavs, I think you might be getting involved in that one.
Yep, representing Queensland A in that match. So that is going to be in an hour and 20 minutes from now. We get 10 PM AEST. And yep, as Ben said, Queensland A versus Western Australia B. So we're actually seeing the opposite of the match we just watched. Western Australia A versus Queensland B. So you'll see the inverse of that one in an hour and 20 minutes. And that will close off the Saturday. So make sure you tune back in for that one. And I've been Mavs, this has been Ben. Thanks for the cast. And thanks to Snowpoint for the stream. And we will see you guys in about an hour from now. Take care.